Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our Breakfast Committee monthly educational seminars. Our Breakfast Committee, we are dedicated to providing such speakers as Michael so that we do have an educational forum for people to learn, not only if you're just an entrepreneur, but also if you're working for a big company, because you can bring a lot of your knowledge that you learned from these breakfast committees to that big company. So that's basically what we're doing. And the trends that go on, and that you're going to hear from Michael today on the trends that are happening, with can be very helpful, and you shouldn't ignore it. And just wanted to know that we're presenting this opportunity to everybody. So I thank you for coming, and I hope that you are going to learn something today.
It would be my pleasure. And Michael, I've just shared my screen. Michael Castiglione brings 15 years of real world coaching, professional training, and leadership development. Mike believes that leadership is a choice and not just a rank granted by progressing through your career. True professional leadership comes from taking ownership in self-development by becoming a lifetime learner to continuously hone one's craft. Mike owns a Sandler Training Center in Los Angeles, where he coaches and trains sales professionals, business owners, and professionals through attitudes, behaviors, and techniques that drive sales. Prior to owning a Sandler Training Center, he was a professor and director at Loyola Marymount University, where he focused on leadership development. Mike is a passionate leader that is dedicated to collaborating with professionals to build a systemic and sustainable culture for business growth. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Castiglione.
Well, thanks, Mitch. I'm happy to be here this morning. Love the virtual applause. And as we jump into today, just basic online etiquette. This isn't anyone's first Zoom call, but I like to remind everyone to take some notes. Have a pen in hand. I coach, I train. I always have a pen in hand to take notes. We're going to do a couple different activities this morning. I ask you to be professionally selfish. We're going to be talking about sales development. We're going to be talking about growing your business. And if you're not prospecting, you're not growing, you're slowing. So feel free to stop me at any time throughout today. Ask me any questions. Mute your computers. The way I best respond is I've got everyone's face opened up on my computer. If you come off mute, that's your way to me saying, Mike, I have a question. So if you're on mute, you come off mute, I'm going to say, all right, you've got a question, bring you up and we can talk. And then finally, if you're going to be here this morning, invest yourself, invest your time. Stop multitasking, turn off your email, invest in your business right now, be present. That's what I ask. And we're gonna do a couple different engagements. So I'm gonna ask for some volunteers and I'm gonna ask for it to be interactive. So have your cameras on. I like to read the room. I like to see, am I putting you to sleep? Or do I get some smirks and are we having some fun this morning? So first off, let's get started with, I could grow my sales if only what? You can put that in the chat. You can come off mute. I like to just get an idea of where we're at, what we're struggling with, what we would love to see in our business. So I'll give that about 10 seconds, let you get that into the chat. I'd like to get a response from everyone, and then we'll jump into, as Mitch was talking about, some behaviors, attitudes, and technique. So more time to really focus on it, right? At the end of the day, if you're being pulled in a bunch of different directions, if you had designated salespeople, most of us, you are the sales professional. You're the puppet master of your business. You do sales, ops, implementation, marketing. You're your own everything. Okay. Anything else going on out there? Any other challenges? Give you some time to get that in there. So my first question to everybody is, why do your challenges exist? Come off mute. What do you think? Why do some of our challenges exist? Multitasking, the time, having more sales, having that focus, getting more referrals.
Actually, Michael, I would say that it is a matter of time management, because we wear so many different hats until, I want to focus on sales, but I've also got to take care of marketing and, just so many different things. And I've got to be able to manage my time better.
Absolutely. Love that, Vernon. Let's go, Denise. What do you think?
Well, for me, I know it's not focusing correctly. I have to set a time aside, usually in the morning, and I try to call 6 clients on the phone, email them 6 more, and then text 6 more. That's not easy. I mean, it sounds little, 6, 6, and 6,
That's
18
fantastic.
people. And it doesn't always work because I get interrupted. I know I need to turn the phone off when I'm doing this. I mean,
Sure.
to other people calling me.
And the reality is it becomes consistency, right?
Yeah, well,
It's I love where you're at though, Denise, is you're prioritizing your business over everybody else's. And I ask this question often to my clients is, what do you do? And they go into their passion, what they actually do, insurance, they go into marketing, they go into leadership. You're a prospector first and foremost. Your number one responsibility is prospecting. And this is not common to hear, but your business and you are a priority over your clients. If you prioritize your clients first, there's nothing wrong with great service. But if you don't prioritize your business first, you're at the risk zone to eventually start slowing down. So what we're going to talk today, this morning, about is a combination of all 3 of these. Is first and foremost, do you believe in growing your sales and the attitudes necessary to get your business to the next level? And I said something very controversial to many is put your business first. That's a belief. Okay. Some people, they can't get on board with that yet. Some people do struggle with picking up the phone. Some people do struggle with high ticket sales or when there's pressure on the line. So we're going to talk about adapting your limited beliefs. Number 2, we're going to try and get into behaviors a little bit. Behaviors are actually doing, and as Denise nicely laid out, it's having a consistent plan every day, week, month. Do you have consistency, or do you only prospect when you need to? Many times you hear of the ebbs and flows in sales. And unless you truly have a seasonal business, like you're selling Christmas trees, I don't believe in ebbs and flows. I don't believe in seasonality, because what typically happens is you only prospect when it's a priority to your business, which means your sales have gone down already. And then the third is technique. And this is what we're going to spend most of this morning talking about, is refining our message, refining our questioning strategies. It's 2022. No one wants to be sold like a 1980s used car salesperson. We want to be treated as a valued consultant. We want to have someone who's there to help us, not to try and sell us. So with all of that, what I'm going to ask, pen in hand, our first activity this morning, I'm going to ask for you all to play along at home. And on the left side, what you're going to do is you're going to write down 1 or 2 limited beliefs right now that get in the way. So, for example, if I had more time on sales, it's a limited belief. If only I could pick up the phone, limited belief. If only people wanted to buy more, limited belief. I don't want to bother anybody, limited belief. Right now, write down 1 or 2 limited beliefs that's getting in the way of growing your business. What we're going to do is we're going to shift that to be empowering. And I'm going to need a volunteer to play along with at home. Anyone want to volunteer to jump in? Natalie, you open to working with me?
Sure, go ahead. What would you like? How do you want me to start?
So all I want you to do is give me your limited belief. What's getting in the way?
I hate doing videos on social media. I would rather jump
Go ahead.
off a bridge.
All right.
Facetious.
So,
sometimes feeling that I have to do everything and not willing to give up that control.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with go ahead.
Yeah, and the third one is just, if I had a better team, I could do X, Y, and Z. So
okay. Well, let's start with the first one. Let's start with hate doing videos. Okay. First and foremost, if that's my belief, then obviously my judgment is going to be like, nails on a chalkboard every time I think about doing that behavior. Right? It's fair to say, and impacting my actions of, I'm going to put that off. It's not going to be a priority. It needs to be done to grow my business. It's a sector and an avenue that I have potential growth there. You're going to put it off. Therefore, results going to be, when I do it, it's going to be last case scenario. My heart's not going to be behind it. You're going to do good work, but it's not going to be your passion. Reaffirming that belief is, see, I'm getting by without it. My business is doing okay without it. Kind of reaffirming that negative belief is, I hate it. I don't want to do it. Shifting that belief to empowering, okay? It's not that I hate doing videos. They are time consuming. I'm not even going to address that. I'm going to shift my belief, if I was you, to, I have such a great message, I need to get it out in any way I can. That needs to be my belief. I believe I have a great message. Reaffirming my judgment is, I'm now going to be much more consistent with that idea, reaffirming my actions. I'm going to set a goal that's realistic. Once a day videos might not be a realistic thing, but I'm going to do it to a consistency, whether it's once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whenever you're going to do your videos, reaffirming that I have a great message. And as you build your consistency, you're going to see the results increase. You're going to have some traffic increase. You're going to have some conversations that start to come from it. Reaffirming your empowering belief, right? The empowering belief is, I have a great message that needs to get out there.
Right.
If I focus on, I hate doing videos, well, then of course, it's going to dwell in my belly and I'm not going to want to do it. I want to shift that to be empowering. And when I start to go that direction, I want to remind myself, I see you're taking notes. I want you to write that down. I want you to print out, I want you to put on a Post-it note. I have a great message that I need to get out. And I want you to look at that. Let's go with another person. So you kind of see the idea of this activity here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a limited belief. We're going to shift it to be empowering. Let's get another volunteer. Let's go ahead, Denise.
You have the beliefs and, judgments, actions, results. You're changing your attitude. Attitude, I would feel, should be in that box, because it's your attitude that will either keep you from doing things or not. And you're on the phone, you need to keep smiling, even though they don't see you.
So this is your attitude. This whole belief wheel is shifting your attitude. You're 100% right. So when we're talking about our 3 components of success, this belief wheel is your attitude. The attitude is the overarching umbrella to the wheel. So while we're chatting, what's one limited belief that you have?
Me?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if I have a limited, because I think attitude, I have those, I have a women's networking luncheon group, and I just, most times I give them different affirmations to say.
Love it. I love it. Anyone else want to jump in? Give me a limited beliefs that's getting in the way of growing your business right now.
Actually, Michael, when I think about it, and I understand the concept of limited beliefs, it's how we feel when we are on camera, because for a number of people, they don't feel like they look a certain way and come across a certain way that people are going to want to listen to them. So yes, I know I have a good message, or I have a great message, but I'm not really pleased about what I think I look like on camera.
Okay, well, I'll address that quickly, because at the end of the day, that isn't a very limited belief. It's my appearance that's going to sell. It's not. So my belief of looking at myself, hearing myself, raise your hand if you hear your own voice and you're like, I sound like that. Right? We've all done that.
Yeah.
But that's not how everyone else sees us. And Vernon, you hit it right on the head when it comes to that. We're our own biggest critic. Denise, you hit it on the head where, why can't we be our own biggest cheerleader? Why can't we affirm ourselves in the morning? Why can't we write down 2 to 3 affirmations to start the day versus looking at the limited belief? So when you start that negative action about who you are and how you appear, just think of it from the other perspective. Other people don't see me that way. Other people see me as great. They're not looking at, how's my hair today, right? No one asks me that question. That's not how I grow my business on my hairstyle. They based on my competence and my confidence. It goes back to, can I help them with a value?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we get from society those limited beliefs, and they get ingrained internal to us. Carmen, you had come off mute. You were going to jump in there with something. Did you have some?
Thanks, Michael. Yes, I mean, I think for me, Natalie mentioned the others, is about just not having the right people, or, not having the full team that I would like to have. And then Vernon said, it's like, we just wear multiple hats. So my limiting belief is that I don't have the right person, to do the sales for me, so that I could focus on other things.
So let me ask you another question before I go into this. Do you have someone doing sales or not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And yeah, so
Okay.
I've actually delegated a lot of the hands-on stuff so that I could focus more on the sales at this point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple things to believe. I can't relinquish power. Everything is on my shoulders. My judgment is, let's be honest, you're never going to be able to clone yourself, but I do it best. That's my judgment. There's a reason why you all started businesses or are in your positions, because you are great. Therefore, your actions are going to be limited in the fact that I don't want to disseminate it out. It's not going to be prioritized to find someone to do that work, because at the end of the day, I do it best. And it's too hard. Once you start thinking it's too hard, I'm not going to find that person, you're not going to find the people that you're looking for. Reaffirming that belief is, you know what, I have so much on my shoulders, I don't have time. That limited belief can suck so much time and energy out of us. Where if you affirm it out, and it's, I have great leadership skills, I have the ability to coach and mentor, I need to do a good job prioritizing either supporting my team or finding team. And that's a big thing right now. We know that the workforce isn't where it was a couple years ago. So to say, I want to hire someone, turn a switch, you're not going to just turn and hire someone the next day. It's a process. So I need to reaffirm my belief is I'm a great leader, and I can't wait to find someone to work with. I can't wait to learn from their styles and be able to learn something from my team. Reaffirming my judgment is I need to get in front of more people. I need to get out there and get my message out that I need more people. I'm looking to bring in more people to support. And the more you get that message out, the more, just like on a morning like this, people are now listening, people now can connect you. And it's not you holding it inside, but you're getting it out there so that people can help you. Reaffirming the results of, you're now starting to have conversations about hiring. You're now having conversations about expectations and accountability with your current team that you weren't before. If you have a belief that you have certain expectations out of your team, they have to know that. Reaffirming your belief that they are excellent, you have a great person, you have a great team, and all people are starting to increase now. So you can't look at it from a limited perspective. You have to look at it from an empowering perspective. So let me give everyone about 30 seconds of just silent time. Take a look at your belief, shift it to be empowering. And my challenge to you is when we hang up today, write it on a Post-it, put it somewhere where you can see, write it, as Denise was saying in her women's group, write it down every morning. Reaffirm your brain with greatness, not with mediocrity or not with limited beliefs. Okay. As we start to jump into sales, and I heard a couple different times, is the sales are on most people's shoulders in this room. Raise your hand if you've had a stall or objection from a prospect along the lines of, let me think it over, let me get back to you, let me run this by my partner, my spouse, let me, this is great, send me some information. Give me a hands up or just a thumbs up if you've heard those before. Okay, we all have. Those stalls and objections from a qualified prospect have nothing to do with your product or service or price. It has to do with us. It has to do with us allowing them to make that decision. And I'm not saying we're trying to sell ice to Eskimos, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that sneaky, sleazy 1980s used car sales. I believe in taking control of the process and allowing them to say yes, and if they're not qualified, to say no. So typically what happens in the buyer-seller dance is your sales professional acts motivated. They say, yeah, I'm interested. So what do? You do a quick needs analysis. They're interested. Hey, so they're lying to us is what they're doing. Yeah, I'm interested. Let's get started. Let's get on a call. So what do? We go right to presentation mode. We start telling them ideas around how we can help them. We give them proposals. We give them information. So what do? They start to collect free information, free consulting. They'll start to use us for everything that they can. And then all of a sudden we go to try and close, get them to move forward. And that's where they're giving that, hey, send me some more information. Let me run this by my partner. Let me think it up. Let me get back to you next week. And then we're trying to handle those objections. They disappear. We put our Nikes on and we get into this voicemail jail, start following up. Who's in control of this process here? I'm curious, come off mute. Who's in control of this process here?
We are. You're the captain, you're the driver.
We want to be, but in this exact situation where they're taking information, they're presenting. They're
totally in control.
They are. Well, we want to. Go ahead, Natalie.
Well, I was just listening to you, Michael. I am shifting that attitude with myself. Whereas when I have prospects, I find out what their needs are. And so I ask them questions. So I'm doing an audit of them and I'm asking them, what are your needs? What's your situation? What's your circumstances? What brought you into, meeting with me today or talking to me? And then I listen to them and then I find out what their pain points are. And I just reiterate that, so I try to shift their energy as, okay, this is their problem. This is their pain points. And so I'm going to it's like I'm watering their pain points. And so at the end of my discovery call, I am showing them that I'm the solution to your problem and to your pain.
And let me give you two suggestions to that. Because first and foremost, I love every bit of that, is not just watering them, but to go deep. Because a lot of people bring us pain, bring us problems, and that's not the real issue. The surface level pain is often not the real issue. So to identify what's the business impact to them,
right,
and then what's the personal and professional impact to them. Because people buy emotionally and then they justify intellectually. And if we can go 3 levels deep in our questioning, it is exactly an iceberg. If we can go 3 levels deep, we now have a connection. And more importantly, Natalie, is I start every conversation with what I call an upfront contract. I'm just going to briefly touch on it today, but we'll talk about it now. It's at the beginning, I asked that question, what did you want to accomplish by the end of today? Or what questions did you have?
Mm-hmm.
Another component is, and this is very powerful, is Natalie, at the end of this call, I want you to feel comfortable letting me know this is not the right fit if it's not. And just as you said, yes, no problem, I'm going to wait for that affirmation.
Right.
However, if we are the right fit, I'm going to dictate what the next steps are. However, if it is the right fit, we'll schedule a 60-minute consultation. However, if it is the right fit, we'll start today or take a small step forward. Are you comfortable with that?
Oh.
Mm.
Whoa.
So guiding where you're going is essential. Because if, like I said, the stall or objection is our fault, because if you force them to make a decision at the very end,
right,
it's too hard for them. Or if you never said you have to make a decision today, it's our fault when they don't. So if they say, hey, send me some information, let me think about it, let me get back to you, that's human nature. This dance that we just saw, they've learned it from us. They've learned it from, we've all bought stuff before. We've all done this dance. And
Those are emotional responses, aren't they?
Yeah. So the goal is yes or clear next steps. And then at the end, where are we headed? Okay.
It's brilliant.
So I have, what I'd like to do next is it starts with our message. So are we even attracting the right people? What I want to do, and talking to Mitch before we got into today, I know all of you network a lot. You're out there getting your message out, Natalie, even onto your videos. I'm going to do a quick reflection, and then I'm going to put us through an activity. So you're going to need 4 pens. Blue, red, green, black. If you don't have them, you can use one color. It's not a big deal, but I'm a visual person. But first, I'm going to ask these questions. So if you have a pen in hand, just jot down these reflection questions. First of all, who do you best serve? Positionality, who are they in their organization? How big is their organization? What industries? Okay. Is there an age range you best service? Is there a gender you best service? Like some people focus on very niche markets. Who do you best serve? Can you visualize one of your clients? Is that your best avatar? Visualize physical people. My next thing I want you to do is think about, where are they? It's 2022, it's May 18th. What are your best prospects doing right now? Are they virtual, online? Are they at conventions? Are they in their office? Where are they? Where can you reach them at? Natalie, you were talking about pain. What is their pain indicators? Think about some of the best clients you served. Before you met them, what were they going through? What were their frustrations? What were their challenges? What were they excited about and passionate about that you allowed them to get to? And then finally, what are their trigger events? Do they have an anniversary? Do they have a gala? Do they have a quarterly get together? Do they have a week or monthly breakfast? Where are they? What are their trigger events? And do you use the trigger events to strike up conversation or just say hello? I'll give you an example. LinkedIn. I look at that as the world's largest big business networking event. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Over 1 billion people are there. Do you show up like a traditional salesperson, or do you show up like a valued consultant? So for example, when someone's anniversary comes up or they change jobs, you just give them a thumbs up, or you just hit that automated congratulations, Michael? Or do you send a message that inquires thinking and inquires them to talk? The example I share is my work anniversary came up a few months back, and I had 100 and something people reach out to me. Congratulations. It was 97% the exact same automated LinkedIn message, which is fine. But what I did is I responded to every single one of them with thank you with a question. And do you know how many people responded back to me? I'll let you use your hands because you only need 2 hands for the number. And it was 7. It was 7 people actually responded to me. And of those 7, most of them didn't even answer the question I asked. It was just doing good or something like that. So use trigger events, use the platforms for proactive thought. And with that, we need to fine tune our message. You can't go out selling because the more you try and sell, the more the effective filter goes up. So what I'm going to do is I'd love a volunteer. I'll take you through. I'll give you the world's best message when you're all said and done. So the rest of you will play at home with your own message. Anyone want to volunteer to jump into the hot seat? Vernon, let's do this. So everyone, you're going to grab a red pen. If you don't, just grab a pen. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down 3 solutions you provide. So Vernon, what are 3 features and benefits you do as a coach and as a leader? Give me one of them. What do you do for professionals?
I help professionals to, strange as it may seem, change their belief systems.
All right. So all I'm going to do is at the top of my page, I'm going to write help change beliefs.
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to write the next one in the middle of the page. I'm going to write the 3rd one at the bottom of the page. Vernon, you can just play along, text me, and I can shoot this picture to you later, so you don't have to write. You can just play along with me.
Okay.
What's the second feature that you do? What's the second thing that you do?
I help my clients to get out of their own way.
What do you mean by get out of your own way?
And by that, we hold ourselves back. And so what I do is I work with them so that they understand that how they have been holding themselves back, and to begin to change the way that they see themselves and what they do.
So just making a little list, as you can all see. Everyone playing at home, just write down same thing, just like me. Brennan, give me one more.
I help my clients I want to say take off limitations and improve their self-image, which is for me something that is always been and probably always will be ongoing.
Perfect. So we've got 3 features and benefits from Vernon. Give me a thumbs up if you have at least 2 at home playing along with us. Everyone have at least 2? I want you to look at those, and I want you never to say them again. For the following reasons. Vernon, how many other coaches in your world are there out there, especially now in this virtual world? How many others are there? You laugh. $1 million?
Probably.
50 million?
Yeah, probably.
Who's not saying that? All right. When I first sit down with clients, they say, I have the best customer service and the best product. And I say, who's your competition? And they say, ABC company. And I say, if I talk to them, what would they say? They have the best service and best product. Everyone believes their features and benefits are the best, but that's what everyone does. So what I want to do is I want to talk about who you work with, not what you do. People make decisions, not businesses. So Vernon, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Everyone else is going to play along at home. You're going to write the blue right underneath the red. Who is struggling? Someone who wants help changing beliefs. What are they going through right now? Describe them to me. What are they doing?
It's interesting that you asked, Michael, because what I've found myself doing is I'm working with people who are currently working a job, but they're interested in starting their own business, and they're starting their own business. So they're doing 2 things at one time. And that's a challenge.
Okay. So they're working a job, they want to start something new.
Right.
All right. Love it. Now, so as you can see, all I'm doing is just writing down the who underneath. Those who need help getting out of their own way, understand themselves. What are they going through right now? Why are they looking for that feature and benefit?
What I believe they're going through is self-imposed limitations. They've been listening to people that have been telling them about what they can't do, and whether they're aware of it or not, they've been listening and believing that to be true.
Okay. So they have these self-imposed limitations by listening to others.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get into someone very specific. All right. And then who's looking to improve their self-image? What are they currently going through right now? excited about? What are they struggling with? What if someone prior to working with you, what's going on with them if they're looking to improve their self-image?
What they're doing now to improve their self-image is that, first of all, they keep doing the same thing over and over again without being aware of it. They're thinking the same thing because it's become a part of their belief that this is going to be difficult, it's going to be very hard, and there really isn't any business out there for them. But there's a fear about, and fear, underlying fear, there's a fear about being rejected. And that rejection hits them personally. And so they begin to internalize that belief that they're not that good. Even when they feel that they've got a great product and they've got a great service, they hold themselves back.
Okay, so they keep doing the same thing over and over because they're frozen by fear.
Yep.
Okay. I've got 3 reasons why people would work with you. Now we're going to want to take it a little bit deeper. I said earlier on this call, people buy emotionally, then they justify intellectually. So yeah. The next step of the activity is in green, right in front of each of the blue sentences. What's one emotion that someone has who's working a job that but wants to start something different? What emotion are they feeling right now? It might, go ahead.
What I found is that they have the emotion of fear.
Okay.
And I let them know there is no stronger emotion than fear. Some people might say love. I go, no, fear is number 1.
Okay.
Fear will stop us from doing a lot of things that we want to do.
Okay. Okay. What about someone who has self-imposed limitation because they're listening to others? What emotion do they have right now? Are they frustrated? Are they struggling? Are they anxious? Are they excited, happy, eager to do something different? Tell me the emotion that someone might have.
They have, you're absolutely right. They have all of those emotions, really.
Pick one. Pick the most powerful one. You can't say them all. You got to pick one.
Yeah, I know. Anxiety.
Okay.
They're anxious.
Okay. And then finally, the person who keeps doing the same thing and is frozen by fear, what emotion do they have?
They're angry.
Okay.
I mean, totally pissed off because they realize that they're holding themselves back and they just can't get past it.
Perfect. And who's your best decision maker? So if you were to talk to someone, positionality-wise, is it a business owner? Is it a business professional? Is it a specific level, a manager? Like who, again, for everyone playing at home, you can have multiple decision makers. I want one though. I want one for this exercise.
Business owner.
Business owner. All right, so my paper looks something like this. I'm just going to slap that at the top, business owner. I've got my 3 emotions on the side. And are you all ready for Vernon's best message ever? So what we're going to do is, I like Roman style. Thumbs up means, hey, that works for me. Thumbs down, Mike, that was a waste of time. And you're allowed to give me a thumbs down. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So, ready for it? Vernon, and I've been talking to a lot of business owners, and what I've been hearing is they've had a great fear because of starting something new and they're stuck in the job that they're currently in. They're anxious from self-imposed limitations because they keep listening to others. They're angry that they keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, and they're frozen by fear. Do any of those resonate with you? You know, thumbs up if that works for you. You know, thumbs down if it's not quite there.
Good.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Introduce yourself. I've been talking to who shows 2 things. you're competent, you're out there working with those individuals, and you're calling out a very niche position. So two things. If you're networking, I can connect Vernon with that specific positionality. And number two, if that's me, he's talking to people like me. If I say I'm talking to people like all of you on this call, that's salesy. So be very specific of who you're talking to. What I've been hearing is that says I listen. What I've been hearing means I'm asking them questions and I'm listening to them without saying, hey, you can trust me. Because whenever you say, hey, trust me, that's how you lower trust, right?
Yeah.
What I've been hearing is pain point 1, pain point 2, and pain point 3. People buy emotionally, they justify intellectually. If they don't have those 3 pain points, they're not your prospect. So as we were talking earlier in this session about, sometimes we get down the pipeline and they're not quite the right person. Well, it starts at the beginning. Sometimes we force the wrong people into our sales pipeline. If they're not emotionally charged, they're very likely not a prospect, or it's going to be a transactional service. And if you're going to be a transaction, you'll be treated like a commodity, and then price becomes the only factor. Last part of this, do any of these resonate with you? If you're networking, you can do it as a slight reverse. I don't suppose you know anyone with those challenges. So do any of those resonate with you if you're talking to an individual? If you're networking or you're introducing yourself, I don't suppose you know anyone with those challenges. You can't play tennis if you don't hit the ball to them. And in the game of tennis, in the game of business, questions are putting the ball back into their court. So you have to finish with a question. So take it, use it. Natalie, for those videos, you can do a video on the pain points, talking about that, just articulating that. You don't have to give the solution. You can just talk about current pain points that people are going through, getting that message out. Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. And, I've been focusing on that and, getting it out. Sometimes I get in my way and want to give solutions. So thank you for that. But yeah, I definitely will focus on the pain point. And I think my struggle is just doing it in a way that exactly how you presented the message was so smooth. It was like ice, just being able to do it that way. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And again,
Yeah.
do you believe in it?
I do. Yeah. I just, again, like I said, you just made me realize when you said, don't give a solution. That's what I was in my mind. I was like, okay, here's a pain and here's a solution. So
absolutely,
I will not give a solution. So thank you for that.
Go ahead, Denise.
It was interesting what you said, because yesterday I had to go to AAA to take care of something of my brother's on a card situation, and I had gone onto the DMV site and everything. Couldn't fill out the information because I didn't have the information that was needed. And so I went to AAA, and I loved what the gal said. And I mean, I have her card because anytime I go to AAA, I'm going to ask for her. She's not in sales. Really, she's working for AAA. She's doing every day. People are coming in. And I said, I'm just so sorry about this. I can't go any further. Can you please help me? And I said, there's a problem here. And I loved, she said, I love challenges. I love to put that puzzle together for you. And I just, even though she couldn't get to where I needed on this situation, she gave me some solutions. You said, not give a solution, but she gave me a solution at the end. And I'll take care of it when I get up to Sacramento and call the Sacramento police about it. So
again, depending on the situation, you can provide solutions. Just everyone's industry is a little bit different. If it's not the right fit, I can say, hey, you should go talk to this person. I'm not the right person for you. You can provide a solution if you know you're not the right one. And that is the goal, right? We're problem solvers, not salespeople. I think sales is the one 4-letter word that everyone hides on their card. I'm a territory developer. I'm a customer service specialist. No, we're all in sales.
yeah,
We don't put it there because of the 1980s used car sales feel. You're going to try and trick me. So I'm looking at the time. It's at 8:47. Mitch, I'm going to give you the choice. I've got one more thing to take us through. It takes about 5-6 minutes, but I know we are at the end of today. So it's up to you all. If you can ask any questions, or we could do one more thing around questioning.
Let's go for it.
Let's go one more thing.
One more thing.
All right. So at the end of the day, where are you? Can you see me? Pendulum Theory.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's a lot of layers to this, but I'm just going to give you a technique to kind of that you can all take and implement at 9 o'clock this morning. This is every Wednesday morning I train, and this is one of the concepts I'm doing today. So I'm just warming up for a few minutes. Pendulum theory is, how many people remember physics from 8th grade or 12th grade, whenever you took it?
No.
An object in motion stays in motion unless acted on equal and opposite force. Well, that applies to psychology. What we try and do is we try and convince people to buy our product. And when we push and try and convince, we're pushing them away. We want to use a bit of a reverse psychology. So for example, if someone's very sold, I'm going to give you 3 questioning techniques. So have a pen in hand. Someone's very sold. That's probably someone who got a referral from you, who are on your website. It might sound something like this. Natalie, Vernon said, connect with you, love what you do, need to talk to you. We're instantly in sales mode where, oh, let me tell them what I can do for them. I assume. We go back to what you're talking about. Help me understand what Vernon said, is what I would say. A little bit left.
Yeah.
Help me understand why you are looking for something like that. I was on your website. It's exactly what I need. I'm curious. What did you need? I'm curious. Why were you looking? These are people who are excited and interested, which gets us what I call hopium. We start hoping, all right, we get excited. This is a prospect. This is going to be a client. We start sipping on hopium, and hopium's one hell of a drug. It puts us right into that buyer-seller's dance because we start now giving that proposal way too soon. So stay a little bit left of the pendulum. Someone who's neutral would sound something like this. Denise, I'm interested. I'm checking out a couple people. I'm interested. I'm looking for the best deal. So rather than saying, well, I've got the best deal around, I could do this, I can do this, trying to pull them, I'm going to go a little bit left. I'm curious, what's the best deal you're looking for? Have them define it for you. I'm going to guess no one on this call is the low-cost leader. No one's the Walmart of your industry. You're expensive. So they have to have value first. So help me define what a deal is. So what were you looking for? They say, well, I'm shopping around a couple companies. What I'm going to say here is, first of all, well, who are you looking at? I'm not going to dance around. If you're talking with other people, I want to know who. Then I'm going to ask the question a little bit left. Denise, how come you haven't gone with ABC company? You want a really good answer from your prospect? Ask a really good question. They're talking to you for a reason. And is it really just to get another quote so they can go back to their original provider? Because I'm not going to waste, a half day of my time writing up a proposal for a fake prospect. I'm going to sit down and, like Natalie was saying, I'm going to take those pain indicators, I'm going to take them deep. And if they say something along the lines, well, I was just frustrated with the service, tell me more about that. How long has that been a problem? What did you try to do about it with them? I'm going to start, like I said, now, don't just do surface level, take them 3 levels deep. Now, people buy emotionally. Now I'm going to get them emotionally connected. And then over here, negative. Negative doesn't mean they're a jerk. Negative simply means they're not interested. It might say, Carmen, I'm currently working with someone. Not interested right now. They might say something like, get back to me in 6 months. You ever heard that? Get back to me after the holidays. Get back to me after this. So what I'm going to say is, happy to get back to you. Are we going to be getting started in 6 months or just checking in? If they say just checking in, I might say something like, Natalie, is this just a polite way of saying you're not interested? Because remember, I start every conversation with what a clear yes is and what a clear no is. And if they say just check back in, I'm not allowing that. So are we getting started or are we just checking in? And if they say, no, this is what's going to happen, tell me more about that. How long has that been a problem? You know, what have you tried to do about it? I'm going to go deeper into it. Why 6 months? Because sometimes just the fear of spending money is enough to drive people away. So, or what was the other one? Oh, we're currently working with ABC Company, right? A little bit left. I hear great things about ABC Company. Congratulations. How long have you been working with them? I always ask how long. We're in Los Angeles, the city of fear of commitment. They say 6 days, 6 months, 6 years. I don't care what they say. I congratulate them. And then I say, I'm a lifetime learner. I want to know what's going on. Well, what are they doing that's working? So congratulations. To spend 6 years with someone, what's working? If you get someone who's engaging, they'll answer that question. And then a little bit left on the pendulum, I don't suppose they can do anything better. Nope, I work with my Uncle Marty. He's the best in the world. Never leave him. Wish you the best of luck. Don't suppose you know anyone that would make sense for me to connect with. Go for a referral. However, if they're like, you know, they're great. Their rates have gone up and their customer service has gotten poor. Tell me more about that. How long has that been an issue? What have you tried to do about that with them? And is that working? So the goal is never to try and convince them, oh, you're working with them for 6 years, but I bet you don't know about this, this, and this. That's salesy. You go left on the pendulum and you try and see, is there something there that's worth talking about? And if there is, can you get them emotionally connected? If there isn't, you shake hands, you part friends, and you go find your next prospect. Sales should be fun. It should be exciting. It shouldn't be high pressure. And using this strategy to question and work with people allows you to have some fun, because at the end of the day, when you shake hands, part friends, it's not because you did a bad job or it's me going back to those limited beliefs. They aren't the right fit. And we can happily shake hands, part friends. So typically the way I work is, as many of you know, I do ongoing coaching, training, developing. I have an open session once a month, which is kind of similar to what we did today. You're all welcome to attend it. Or if you know someone, I'd be a phony if I didn't say, hey, you know, ask for a referral at the end. If you know someone who thinks they might find value in a session like this, I'll put the link in the chat. But definitely, I'm connected with most of you on LinkedIn. Let's connect there. And then if you're interested in checking out a session, be more than happy to have you as a guest. So with that, any questions? I'll pause because I know I'm not only out of time, but I've taken extra time this morning.
I have Michael, can you just repeat what you said before you showed your screen? You said an object stays in position, and
an object in motion stays in motion. Okay. Until acted on an equal and opposite force. So if they're sold, they're going to keep going in that direction until you try and convince them. Psychology is, once I try to convince someone, I freeze them. However, if I go in the opposite direction and I go reverse, I'll pull them with me towards the sale. So I'm going to push them the other direction. Make sense? Go ahead, Mitch.
Michael, is that a form of taking away the sale?
Absolutely.
In a way. Okay.
It 100% is the reverse. As humans, right? We want what we want. We are entitled. And then once it's taken away from us, well, now we're curious why. It's that, well, I'm missing out on something. Go ahead, Denise.
Yeah.
No, I like the idea when you say congratulate them. Because I know I have a lot of that in my business. Oh yeah, I have a sister in the business, or I have so-and-so in there. I have a brother and uncle, as you said. And I've never said to congratulate them. I get upset. I don't get upset. I mean, I don't show it to them, but afterwards I'm going, oh.
You get emotionally connected. We have a rule: leave your child in the car with the window cracked. Your child is your emotion.
Right? I like that.
In your ego states, you got your child, you got your adult, and you got your parent. Our child is our emotion. We want to talk to their child, but we want to leave ours outside. Because if we get emotionally connected, what starts happening? We start discounting. We start giving up. We get that Have you ever felt that feeling in your face where it starts to get warm, or that butterfly in your belly? Like, oh, what happens is your dendrites shrink. You can't ask those questions. Natalie, like you said, oh, you're smooth, you're talking. You can't be smooth like that when your dendrites are shrunk.
Exactly. You know, you're absolutely right.
We got to
This reminds me
give it up. Yeah.
Yeah. This reminds me of a call yesterday I was on with a client. I'm just going to share this a little bit. And she had mentioned she was working with someone else. And so I asked her, well, how is it going? You know, and I had to remove myself of getting that, Denise, like you were saying, like, ugh, you know, like, oh no. And so I just asked, I said, so tell me about it. How's your experience been? You know, what's been the results, yada, yada. And then I found out that the person that she's not satisfied, you know? And so I just, you know, kept that information, and, you know, I kept allowing her to share that the person that she's with is not fulfilling her needs, you know, but I didn't say that. I allowed her to say that, but I kept questioning her, and it's going that deep dive, you know, 3 levels deep, so that she could realize that, wow, this person is not working for me. And, you know, you're really the person that I need. So
let's be honest, if they're going to pay a high ticket price for us, they're not looking for a cheerleader. They're not looking for someone to validate. They're looking for someone who's going to push a little bit, help them make tough decisions. And if in the sales process you're not doing that, what's going to happen once they do pay? Nothing. Nothing's going to change once that transaction happens.
Right.
So I don't believe in free consulting. And in your first sales session, I believe in complementary sessions in the consultation to see if there's the right fit. That's when it starts.
Right.
But it is 8:59. I have my weekly training starting in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to have to jump off. I put my LinkedIn in the chat. I put my complimentary session in this chat. If anyone wants to attend or just connect and network, be more than happy to keep this conversation going.